is recording. All right, let's get in position. Dun dun dun! Coming at you live. All right, so you have to lean in, bro. We are recording. We are live. I think this is our first time live on Rockfin.
Rockfin!
If you're able to see us right now, let me know. I want to check the Rockfin app. But to everybody else listening, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Pill Tamales podcast. This time, I have my beautiful wife / manager / co-host / my rock, Shorty my rock / my everything.
Oh, baby, you're so sweet.
Know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's so like that. And so we're coming. Top that. So anyway, it is Wednesday. We're uploading this today to the What Did He Said podcast RSS feed.
I have not been on the What Did He Said podcast since it became the What Did He Said podcast, like when you first started it, or when we were out of the studio. Remember?
And right now, this is Red Pill Tamales. We owe you guys an episode. And before we start doing all the other stuff we got to do, you know, making content, making music and everything else, getting ready for this tour. We're headed to Sacramento. Marisol will actually be there. The wifeager. The shark.
Get ready.
The shark.
Discipline.
The Kris Jenner. The Latina Kris Jenner. Let me see. Is that a comment? Keep going. Talk to them.
What?
Oh, no, wait. We're having trouble streaming to your destination. Please check the destination to ensure the stream looks okay. Okay. Yeah, that's why there's not going to be any comments from Rockfin. However,
it is live on Rockfin?
It didn't work.
Oh, it didn't work.
So
period.
It's going to be one of those things where I'm going to have to make time and get on the phone with somebody. Get somebody on a conference call.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. We tried,
Yeah.
y'all. But anyway, we're gonna give y'all this quick episode. There's so much to talk about. Obviously, like the right getting triggered about this trans Bud Light can, which apparently was just a one-off promo. Supposedly, it was just like one little 6-pack. They made him like it wasn't really on the shelf.
Oh, it wasn't?
Allegedly, it wasn't even on the shelf. Like I didn't really know that.
Sorry.
Javi told me that. So Javi makes sure I don't get stuck in a right-wing news bubble. So y'all have to be very careful on both sides. You got fake news on both sides. You got people leaving out context.
What about the Nike version? She got Nike, she got Native, and then she just got the makeup one. So she, whatever he is, just got Hershey's. Just got another deal on the same week.
First of all, if I start calling myself, I already have a sister, Patricia. Petra. If you see me out here, it's Petra with a whole beard and everything else, then I need to get me some checks. With my luck, I won't get an endorsement. We do all that for nothing. Hey, my wife is already the family manager. She's already Kris Jenner. She's trying to Bruce Jenner me over here.
Yeah, imagínate.
No manches. Hey, la peluca. Do your wig right. Good. Man, imagine if they had Bruce like that. But they're like, Bruce, come on, dog, do it, bro. Nah, man, I don't even like being a girl, bro. Come on, man. Come on, Bruce.
He didn't cut it off. He just got breast implants, right?
He also says he doesn't agree with a lot of this agenda.
I know he doesn't.
That's
and
hilarious.
He called it out. It's so weird.
He's like, this is a mental illness.
Which is weird because aren't you?
Yeah. I don't know what I just heard that he's in an interesting position because he's like a trans Republican, bro. It's like,
but there's quite a few.
Yeah, there's all kinds of Republicans. You got all kinds.
I think for him, it's really more about almost like about policies that he doesn't agree with. I don't really think it's so much like
he's more of a traditional gal.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
Traditional gal. Give me a break.
Did you see though that VP of marketing, whatever she was, like that head top Anheuser-Busch lady? Did you see that clip? Mm-hmm. It was like some kind of business type interview, and she just did a Zoom call. But of course, these right-wing influencers got a hold of it. They're like, look at what she's saying. Where I'm really curious where she got like her little masters and all that, all those degrees, because you could tell she's like, if you get the position, how much you think she gets paid to be like high up Anheuser-Busch in charge of Bud Light marketing?
Probably about no less than 500 a year.
Probably like 400 or 500,000
a year
is my guess. I don't know. I don't know too much about corporate America, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's 600, 650, probably based on how she negotiates. But she was very confidently saying on the Zoom call, she was saying like, when I came on as VP of marketing, I had a very clear mandate. I had to take this dusty old, no sense of humor, fratty, out of date, not inclusive brand that was in decline. And she said, I had a very clear mandate. She said, evolve it and grow it into the future. And then she says, to me, evolution and growth is about inclusion and acceptance. And it's like, I kind of see how those words, and she's like, inclusion, evolution, where are things going? And she's like, that's why we had to kind of go woke, basically.
That was her excuse.
She didn't say those words, but like from a very nerdy college, turning good projects, good resume, good interview, to where she got that bread and got that contract. You know, she's like pretty sharp, but I feel like she missed. It's almost like they brainwashed her in college. It's like they brainwashed her in college, right? Like they taught her all these business terms and like business marketing with a little bit of like, they're confusing you on the social, like you're really thinking a beer is gonna all of a sudden be popular with like 0.01% of the population.
Well, the problem with that is that beer is manly. Does that make sense?
That's still the thing, yeah.
And so if it's masculine, I guess I shouldn't say manly, right? But a beer is masculine. So if you go on and you put a transgender on a masculine
type of product
thing to do, like, you know, it's like, hey, I'm gonna have a beer with my boys, right? And then it's like you have a transgender. It's like, what are you talking about? I'm not saying transgender people don't drink beer, right? But it's like the Matt Walsh thing that's been circling. I don't know if you've seen that, where this transgender woman basically says, like, tries to go at him, right? But then he asks her, to he into her. Okay, just so you know. He asks her, what is a woman? And
was it the EMS lady? Person?
Yes.
Okay, like it was that college debate.
Yes.
Matt Walsh.
Yes. And so she had long hair.
Yeah.
And
because I saw one interaction where she was an EMS.
Oh, I don't know if she was an EMS, but this girl was like doctorate degree, blah 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 blah. Is that her?
This person was also a college student, but I don't know.
Okay, well, it's not a student. He already worked and did all the above. But she basically was like, I'm a mother. And when he said that, I was like, bro, you are not a mother. Like, and then he's like, well, what is a woman? And she basically couldn't answer. She just kept saying, well, my friends tell me. Okay, well, what do your friends tell you? What is a woman? And she still couldn't, you know, they don't know, because they think that being a woman is like, oh, girl, like complaining about their husband or complaining about the children,
talking about girlhood.
Yeah, like,
and he's like prancing around.
Yeah, like, that's what they picture. So I feel, if anything, what they're doing is a mockery of women, not like a character. Yeah, like they're not really. Well, I don't know what they think the definition of a woman is. Like, we don't go around prancing. We also don't go around like, ew, you know, like.
Not only, there's variety, right? So like, women are able to speak in their normal voice, whereas these gentlemen are having to like, until the estrogen kicks all the way in. I don't even know if Blair White really be having to try to do something with her voice to make it sound more high. And I guess it depends when they transition. If they hit them with the hormone blockers, then they never go through puberty.
I think she waited till she was 21. That's when she started. Yeah, so I think she started when she was 21 or 18, something like that. She was older though when she started, because she felt like she was old enough to make decisions like that, where it's like, no, it's for sure, this is it. That's why she had such a big problem with them doing it to children. Yeah, it's because she was like, I was still kind of confused even then. So it wasn't until like I got older where it was like, no, this is it. And I can honestly respect that if you're an adult and that's a decision you make. But I do also appreciate, and I know a lot of people don't like her. It's still, even because she's Blair White and doesn't side with, a lot of people don't like her, right? Because she's still transgender at the end of the day. But I can respect that she says things like, I will never be 100% woman. She acknowledges that, and I can respect that because she's not trying to, I don't know, she's not trying to.
She still has like right-wing beliefs.
Yeah, kind of. She does.
So you're basically saying that Blair White is against some of this agenda stuff.
A lot of it.
A lot of this agenda stuff.
She does, like,
because of the children aspect, right?
Right. And she even goes on, like, she makes fun of a lot of the libs of TikTok, like the videos that they do. She'll do like her reactions to them, and then she goes back and forth about them. And people leave her shitty comments too, like, you're not really down, you're not a real transgender, and blah blah blah. But I talk about this. This is like my subject. So
yeah.
The Jazz little girl, you know what I'm saying? Now she's going through like some depression and anxiety, and she's tired of like wearing that stopper to keep expanding her hole.
And her parents,
and the mom is like talking. I know, and the mom's talking to a friend. And she's like, she goes, girl, I got to make sure she has that hole open. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got to make sure the expander, and she's just not wanting to do it anymore.
So
I think she wants to like find a way to bring her penis back, but I don't think that's going to be possible.
So question, if she were to stop doing the stopper and it just will, whatever cavity they made, they created, it would just heal and close.
Correct.
And then would that cause an issue? It's like, yo, you need it open.
Of course.
So why?
A bunch of infections and everything would happen. Because now
because the tissue that's on the inside of that needs to breathe, and it needs to still have some kind of function.
Tucked it in.
So let me ask you this: since you did more episodes about this kind of subject, you know how males get erections, right? So the blood goes to that tissue. So what happens to her with that same tissue that they did the banana split?
That's a good question. I'm not really 100% sure. I don't have the answer for that, but I do know that it's not very comfortable for them to have sex. So that's the problem, is that it's still not comfortable for them to have sex. Also, from one of the transgender videos that I saw, she isn't able to climax, so she never has pleasure.
You know which ones probably can? The girls who get on testosterone, but they still got a vagina. They still got a vagina, so the vagina still is a vagina. It still works like a vagina.
Sure, yeah.
They just got a boy haircut. They cut off their breasts, and they trying to grow a beard.
Well, I think I don't know how it works for the men that leave it, right, and are on estrogen, right? I don't know, how that would work to them. Like, does
it still work?
If it works, is it just as active as a man? Like, desire. I wonder if that.
I would assume no, because if you pump the body with estrogen instead of testosterone, that's gonna have that adverse.
Yeah. Interesting.
but
I never thought about that question. That's a very good one.
We're going detail on RPT, baby. We got Marisol in the house. So one quick detail before we shift gears, and I want to talk about how a lot of rappers are starting to talk about the economy and stuff. But one quick detail to wrap that up is I think a big I was trying to explain this to some of my friends who, when they hear about this culture war debate, they only kind of just see some of the details, and they're just kind of like, bro, like Coors Light Ben had a rainbow flag on their can, and look at Kid Rock standing next to a drag queen in this old photo at some event but he's over here shooting up Bud Light cans. Like, y'all weird over there, right? But what I try to explain is what's happening is forcing like indoctrinating and brainwashing children, and sometimes mentally brainwashing them. It's like the societal contagion of like praising the trans, and you got these confused little kids. You put this information, so like the kid aspect, you know what I mean? Like twerking in front of the children, the twerk shows, the drag queen shows, anything involving children, like all that normalizing, sexualizing, just really all that type of child abuse. So these parents trying to be like, we're gonna let the child is like water and like the sky, and God is trans, and trans is inclusivity, and trans is, it's like, bro, chill out, leave the kids out of it. I think that aspect, some of the folks on the left or in the middle are not paying attention. They don't understand, like, these people, some of the people that are triggered off this beer doing this and trying to get their little scores up with the big financial, you know, Black Rocks of the world, is they need to know that a lot of times some people that are offended by this are the fact that, like, how it involves kids and how it looks like an agenda and how they're trying to normalize stuff, inching it over until next thing you know, they're gonna try to be like, well, you guys accepted trans. It's like after forcing people, and it's like, no, it's time for you to accept minor attracted people. Maps. And people are gonna be like, nah, dog. They're like, it's a mental thing, and love is love, and it's fluid, and God is trans.
Well, if you really want to go into that whole thing, I recently watched a documentary called Pervert Park. Okay, and so they talk to a lot of these people. So let's talk about. And I'm not making excuses for pedophiles at all, guys. Before we get it twisted. Yeah, do not get it twisted. But again, this is a mental health issue in everything. Shootings, transgender. That's what is it?
Mental illness.
Gender dysphoria. Yeah. You know, all these things are it. Okay, so let's go here. So these people that I watched on the Pervert Park episode, right? It goes back to, there was a woman there, which is not very common for that to happen. But she, as a child, was molested by her father. And so she, for the longest, had no idea that was wrong, right? The weird part about it is, as she grows to adult and realizes this is wrong, she'll still occasionally go back to her dad to feel that sense of want and like acceptance and all of the above. Again, do you see where that is mental? Yeah, okay.
Very, very.
Okay. But who caused the abuse?
The dad.
Who caused those issues? Okay. But now it only makes you wonder who did it to the dad when he was little, because now the mother repeats. This girl, the daughter, repeats the same thing, and Pete with her own son. Okay. How she gets busted. Okay, check this out. You know, sometimes women are a bit vulnerable and I've never been in that position to where a man can convince me to do anything crazy or weird like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't. But she had been like kind of tipsy and was like drinking. And then this guy that she was talking to basically said, like, I want to watch you do something with your son. And it's not bad if he consents to it, right? If he says yes, then what's the big deal? And I want to see you do that. So she goes and does that to her son.
Oh, Lord.
How she gets busted is he is now at basically the YMCA daycare type thing.
He was a little bitty boy.
Well, he's 8. He's still little. So now him and his friends, boys, right? They're talking about sex. And he said, oh, I had sex. And they're like, no, you didn't. You're like, yeah, I had sex with my mom. So then they're like, what? Yes, sex with your mom. So now the people that work there hear this whole thing. And now they're like, she goes there to pick up her son. And they're like, no, ma'am, you cannot take your son. She's like, why? What's going on? And then she's like, well, you know, there's allegations that you had sex with your son. And that's when she was like,
wow.
Okay.
So that park is like their little jail, or they just
they've let them out, and so there's this place where they all live, and it's called the Pervert Park, and it's basically like they've created this place where this man comes in and tries to rehabilitate them with therapy. And as it's crazy because as you're listening to the therapist talk, you're kind of grossed out by him by saying that I felt like he was making excuses for them. But as you listen to these things, you almost can't help but to be like, well, fuck, like it was being done to them as such a little kid, like this other guy, it was sexually, and it's crazy because for a guy, it works different, right? Because he talks about how he was molested by his babysitter, right? Most boys would be like, bro, you're dude. Exactly.
Was she hot, bro?
Yeah, exactly. So him and his brother will be molested by
lucky, bro.
Exactly, by the babysitter.
Like a young chick, basically?
I think she was kind of like in her 20s.
Okay.
And so now you've got a babysitter molesting them. But not only that, the mom also had them doing sexual stuff to her. And the dad was physically abusing them, meaning they were a very strict home, not like, So one day the mom, I forgot what the mom caught him doing. Gosh, I forgot what it was. But whatever the mom caught him doing when he was little, instead of them asking, why did you do that? Or what's going on? Like questioning it to see what was happening or what was going on. Instead, the dad came in and abused, like physically hit them because it was like, what are you doing? I think he got caught with Playboy magazines or some shit like that from his dad's, but whatever. And so then he turns around and there wasn't planning on doing this. This is the weird part. He gets a girl pregnant. He's 16. The girl's 15, right? And we're talking about he's a way older man. So I guess you were allowed to go to the military young back then. I don't really know. Anyway, I think I kind of told you this story where their car broke down, and then he goes to walk to get help, leaves his brand new baby and the wife in the car while he goes to get help. And when he comes back, a tractor trailer basically was drinking and driving and killed them both. So when he comes back to find his newborn baby and his wife dead with this tractor trailer and beer cans from the person driving it. Okay. So for 21 years, he was doing everything in his power to commit suicide. It just wasn't happening, right? Meets a lady who has a daughter, and he claims, right? So the first offense was they were having I guess a little party or whatever the kids were, and supposedly he touched the little girl. The parents said that, but the kid says it's not true. But that was that. And the second time it happened, so with this whole thing with the babysitter, doing stuff to her, but that's what it was. They caught him with underwear, the thong with this mother's underwear, instead of the little boy. And instead of them asking him, what's this about? They spanked him. So he basically, I guess, when that happened, the stepdaughter walks in and supposedly says, look, I can wear my mom's underwear. And when she said that, she said he couldn't control himself, just pulls it out and starts jacking off.
The kid,
the dad, the stepdad.
The stepdad did that in front of them people.
The little girl, his stepdaughter, because she walked in supposedly into the room where he was and said, look, I can wear my mom's underwear now, which the underwear, remember, is his fetish.
Come on, bro.
And just pulls it out and starts going to town.
Y'all took it too far. I was trying to transition into, speaking of transition, I was trying to transition into like the subject of me looking forward to you and I sitting out by the pool.
Oh yeah.
The weather's been nice outside on our new patio furniture with some pie tequila.
Oh yeah. Pop, pop, pop.
Yeah. And one thing about pie is like you can have a good amount and you don't even feel it the next day. And
it's so good.
That's not even like their sales pitch at all. Just the fact that it's 100% agave, like none of that cut, no the sugar alcohols or anything like that. But they're actually my tour sponsor. They sponsor the podcast Red Pill Tamales. It's actually like, people be doing like promo for people, and it's like, damn, man, I hate promoting this stuff. It ain't even. This is like legit. This is super legit. Anybody who's like closed-minded to tequila, you haven't had pie tequila.
It's really good.
You probably had some.
And I quit drinking a long time ago. Like I really don't care. Like it's funny now because I can Can you tell now when you drink the tequila, you're like, this shit's gross?
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. The burn, the taste, the hangover. Like you could just now you kind
the
of
hangover, especially even if you have like 2 sips of a tequila that's not good. The next day, I don't know about you, but I wake up feeling like I drank a lot, and I may have just had a little sip of it. You know,
it's all the extra stuff that they put in there, bad quality out there, and then people shoot it. Tequila's known, in America to shoot it, but it's meant to be enjoyed by like sipping it. It's actually very sophisticated. Pi Tequila, thank you so much for the love. Thank you for sponsoring the Texas tour dates and sponsoring the podcast. So we definitely appreciate the love.
Fact.
And Mary's Creek Cattle Company, that's our newest sponsor, but we've been clients of theirs for a while.
Yeah.
So basically, Mary's Creek, they have some grass-fed beef. They're in the cattle business.
They also do eggs. Just so
that's a side hustle. Oh, I also bought tamales from them.
Yeah,
I bought some of the best tamales. This is the tamale kingpin. Some of the best tamales I've ever had. It came from like their mom.
Yeah.
But shout out to Larry and Danny, Mary's Creek Cattle Company. They post up at farmers markets.
That's what I'm saying. I want to try their goat's milk.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
try the goat's milk.
We want to do some YouTube videos, right?
I wonder, babe, if we could get that one for Sunny Bunny.
Raw goat's milk. Like, do you understand how powerful and how healthy some of this stuff is? I'm not an expert on it. Mainly they're pushing their beef, right? And we're gonna tell you more about that. But I think some states are trying to like limit you being able to have raw. Like it has to be pasteurized. It has to be gone. It has to go through heat and to kill bacteria and this and that. But it ends up zapping a lot of the nutrients. But anyway, Mary's Creek Cattle Company. We were customers from the beginning, and we got a whole freezer full. Thank goodness of grass-fed beef. If y'all paying attention, a lot of the powers that be, they're trying to make beef to blame for stuff. They want to vilify beef, but it's one of the healthiest things you give your family, especially if it's grass-fed, especially if it's Mary's Creek Cattle Company. Check out the description. You'll be able to check out their website and a phone number where you can say, hey, I want to get a half calf. What's the price on that? When can I get it? What does it come with? Yeah. Like we have so much meat left. Steaks, ground beef, brisket, gracias a Dios, liver, heart. I don't know how we're gonna cook that liver. Who do you know?
And Luisa said, my grandma, pero es con cebolla.
What did Luisa say?
She goes, yo no te cocino
she don't know?
She's like, I won't cook that. She goes, it grosses me out.
Oh, grosses right. Yeah. I think we're gonna do a YouTube video where I like eat heart. And we got some ideas for some YouTube videos. I got to get my channel popping. But shout out to Mary's Creek Cattle Company. They hooked me up with some cool shirts and stuff as well. But I'm a big fan of their product. The meat is really delicious. You're able to lock in the price because prices right now are fluctuating based on the supply and demand of beef. Nowadays, you guys
think we should buy another one?
Yes. Let me tell. Oh yeah. Yes. Let me tell you why though. Nowadays, you don't even know how much of your meat and produce is coming from another country, bro. And you don't even know if they're already putting mRNA technology, aka the medicine, they putting it in the food, and so much of our meat is starting to come from other countries, especially our beef. So if you want Texas raised, grass-fed, get you some Mary's Creek Cattle Company, lock in the price, and just the peace of mind of giving your family something delicious and healthy.
Sure.
But let me tell you about this. I saw Slim Thug post a Thugger News, right? Hashtag Thugger News.
Oh, that's cool.
It's funny. He basically like just gets his car and he's headed to Memorial Park to work out, and he sparked up a fat ass backwood with some most expensive weed you could possibly get a hold of, and he's just like, "Good morning, Thugger News, spark to the park, Thugger News," and then he says, "Man, what's going on with this money? I'm trying to see what's going on with these currencies. Like, we looking kind of janky out there. Like, what do we gotta do?" I don't know if he was thinking about precious metal, crypto, or something to hedge against inflation.
Yeah,
because if your plan is to save money and just have cash in the bank, The government will hop on TV and tell you, oh, our banking system's perfectly fine, folks. Our banking system's strong. The dollar is hanging in there. But country after country, they're getting off the dollar. And the fact that we were the gold standard for like the petrodollar, the one you had to switch over to in order any fuel transaction, that alone was keeping us afloat. That's why we've been able to invest in our military, but also send, they just printing money out of the way. During the pandemic, they shut down. They did a great reset for 2 years. However long, we were just so shut down.
Okay, so question for you, because I don't know. So hypothetically speaking, let's just say the dollar goes to shit, right? What happens?
I think they want to force us onto a digital coin, like the Federal Reserve Cash App. Like everybody get on a central
so
coin,
that they can monitor
that, and so that you're just a little slave, basically, and they could shut you off.
So let's just say you're somebody who keeps cash between your mattress. That cash is going to be shit.
It's slowly just turning into paper. Because inflation. They print up, so they spend so much and they print so much that it causes inflation to get worse, right? Not to mention that what they're doing to our economy with, like, we're not producing any more oil, folks. Like, we're not energy independent, folks. We're gonna send all our money to Ukraine, folks, and we're gonna open up all the borders, folks, and it's like a big power grab. So inflation goes up. Now it's devaluing the dollar. So now all the countries who own U.S. bonds in the treasury market, where it's like a piece of paper that they pay, and it's like a U.S. backed bond. It's like a stock, but it's a bond, right? In the treasury market. Once those prices start to change and dilute and everything, these countries, all these countries, Japan, everybody own them some of these U.S. bonds. All of a sudden, they're like, bro, you're devaluing your money. You're inflating your money. I don't want to get stuck with these. So now it's hot potato. So now it's like, sell them back. When all that starts to come back, that power and strength that we have from being the reserve, and everybody's jumping off of it, and they're going to BRICS and all these other, like India's trading all their shit on the rupee or one of their dollars. So basically, you got money sitting in the bank, or you got money sitting in the mattress. And it's slowly, because of inflation and the high cost of goods, everything that these people, man, like, they damn near doing it on purpose.
All right. So do you think that our children's future will be that?
Yes, our grandkids are gonna have and our kids and our grandkids.
Like kids and our grandkids.
If it turns into a Great Depression, right? The D word. Right now, it's nuclear talks. They about to take off. China about to invade Taiwan. Like, this is all serious stuff, but I know some people are, like, Chingo, what you know, man? I thought you was the money kingpin, or shut up, you sell out, be funny.
Yeah.
But it's gonna affect you, and we need to stop looking at stuff in terms of like my people, my identity politics, and it's like your people is your community and your city and your family and your cost of goods and your dollar. That's also your people, or all those things affect your whatever, however you see the world as your people that are from the same part of the earth as you. Like, Latinos are my people, the food vendors, my people.
You know what's fun is that whenever you go to Europe and you see someone else that's from America, you're like, oh, you're from the US? Cool. Where are you from? And it's like, all of a sudden you're like, we're Americans, right? You're no longer like, you're white and I'm Hispanic, right? Is that not? I was thinking about the other day that, because I feel like how race is just constantly gets pushed, on everyone, right? Also because I love how they just use it against us and no one sees it. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. But I wonder, like, is it not weird that when you're in another country, if you meet someone from the same country, you're like, oh, you're from the US? Cool. What part? Me too. What? Now you're like, you're my, what's up, fellow American?
Yeah, paisano. Yeah, we're on the same team.
You see what I'm saying? But then you come to the US and it's like, you're racist.
Oh, you're black, I'm white. You're white, I'm black.
And then you're a racist.
And you're
if you're
transphobic.
white, you're a racist. You know what I'm saying? If you're rich, you're probably a racist, right? Because that's what
it's all your fault. Yeah, capitalism.
Exactly. Does that make sense? I was thinking about that. That I thought.
Meanwhile, they vote Democrat, which is like the donor class.
Yeah,
it's all these like Martha's Vineyard people, Democrats.
So I thought it was weird. I don't know what made me think of that. I think it's like, I think someone said they did something in Paris or something like that, and it was like, oh, we were talking about the food in Europe, how they have all these rules. That's where the conversation came from. How you have all these rules, right? And they don't have dye number one, red dye, blue dye. You know what I'm saying? In their foods, it's like prohibited. But yet here in America, they put all kind of garbage in our stuff, right? So we were kind of having this conversation actually at the store, and when we were talking about it, one of the ladies said, I met this really cool couple. They were from Wichita. And she's like, and because this is when you think about it, she said, because they were from the US and we were from the US and we were kind of there as tourists, we exchanged phone numbers and basically toured around with this random couple we had just met, but they were from the US. So we kind of felt like we vibed. And I said, how long ago was that? And she was just like, it was like before the pandemic, obviously. So, like it was before
Trump.
Is that not weird? Because
where it was okay to be like, where nobody cared. It wasn't such a big deal.
And then I was thinking about when we went to Mexico City, and I remember the Uber driver, the first thing he said to us, where y'all from? And we said, you know, the US. And then he was just like, what's up with y'all's president, man? We were like, I remember us being like, yeah, I don't know. It's so embarrassing. And then when we got out, when we got to the hotel, I remember us having a conversation like, isn't that so embarrassing?
That's they see us, bro. Like Trump's, we're the laughing stock of the world, bro.
But really,
our economy, we had peace and prosperity. We had no new wars.
I know, but right now, we're a joke.
Oh, right now, for real.
We're a joke right now. I don't know. I was really going down that little like,
memory lane.
Yeah.
I mean, propaganda is strong, you know.
It is. It really is.
Persuasion is strong. I opened up the USA Today when we were in El Paso. Shout out to everybody who came out to the 5 shows in El Paso. And I'm reading the USA Today. I literally filmed with my phone so I could upload it to Twitter, right? And I was like, look at how USA Today is using persuasive language and like wording to paint a narrative. And I read the first paragraph. It was like, Trump's hateful. When he did a speech recently, it wasn't was it the Waco trip? Anyway, like I literally read a paragraph and every super like descriptive, like dark message. And I'm like, I saw the speech. He was just saying like our country's going to shit. They trying to turn it into Venezuela. Motherfuckers got to step up. You know, it's like his 34 felonies and like.
Well, that's what I love about Russell Brand is that before he gets started about talking about the news, is he basically does like all these adjectives and, you know what I'm saying, like how CNN and Fox, because they're both guilty of it, will use these words to make you like automatically be like, what? No fucking way. You know, we're so doomed. And then he spits all the facts to you, you know what I'm saying? And then you're like, what? You know, it's really interesting times right now.
Let me play it right here. I tweeted, it's a peep game, persuasive language. Look how USA Today frames things for the normies. Opinions get assigned.
El Paso, we're here in El Paso. I just decided to read this super biased leftist newspaper and look how they frame everything. Ready? The Biden administration is quietly making headway on its promise to protect non-binary and transgender student athlete eligibility and inclusion on college and K-12 sports teams. The Education Department sent a proposed Title IX rule on the topic to the White House Office of Management and Budget. Yeah, man. I mean, look at the words. In the first paragraph, Biden admin making headway on its promise to protect and inclusion. Come on, dog. How about y'all talk about how it affects actual females in sports? actual women in sports.
They even got a blue dot on top.
Yeah, see the blue dot. They letting you know. Come on, son.
So basically, they were talking about this how Biden admin was protecting the inclusion of non-binary people in sports, but it's like that's one way to frame it. Or how about biological males with ding dongs trying to swim up against actual females, and they just gliding through the water? Did you see the female swimmer got attacked? She got held like hostage.
So I've been reposting her.
Riley.
Hashtag I'm with Riley Gaines, because I mean, there's nothing that she's saying that is incorrect. She's not saying anything that is crazy, anything that doesn't make sense. Everything that's coming out of her mouth, there's nothing that it makes her racist, transphobic, nothing. Guys, think about it. How much money does a parent spend on a male athlete? When you see your son have potential, I'm going to use my friend Marissa for example. Her son goes to camps in California.
Damn.
Okay. She takes her son to camps here. She's always traveling to find different trainers, different camps for football, right? She goes out of her way so that hopefully when he goes to college, he will get, some sort of scholarship for, football, right? Now, imagine how much harder it is for a female, because female sports are just really not watched. And I hate to say this, but it's true, right? Unless it's tennis, maybe something more like that. But like the WNBA, no one watches, right? And I hate to say that too, right? I mean, I don't know the last time anybody watched it. Women's soccer, unless you really love soccer, you're kind of really not watching it. I promise you, a lot of people can't probably name any players on the women's soccer team, right? Except for that one female, that one MVP thing with the short hair, the lesbian girl. Okay, so that girl now is okay with allowing men. She wants to make it okay because she's part of the LGBTQ community. Funny thing is, I'd love for her pay to get taken down and give it to a transgender female to see how she feels.
She's down to have biological males play soccer?
I guess so. Like, she doesn't see anything wrong with allowing men to come participate in women's sports. At the end of the day, guys, they still have a ding dong hanging. So one of her problems, Riley said, I listened to this one, which I've been reposting her stuff because I am not okay with that. I have 3 daughters. Can you imagine if our girls, let's just say for jiu-jitsu, you go into a gym and you're going to go change in the locker room, but there's a male who's got his ding dong hanging.
And it's ma'am.
And you know what I'm saying?
I'm trans.
How am I going to be okay with it? Hey, but here we're like, don't have sex until marriage. And these dumb parents are like, what? We need to be inclusive. Like, let them. They're wrong with them. Like those parents that are out there fighting for that. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. I don't even like our girls to go to the back. I remember now that Mickey's older, she goes by herself, right? I remember one time she took long. I'm glad she doesn't listen to your podcast. I don't know what she was doing in the restroom, but it just seemed long to me.
Yeah.
And I literally just go, I'm like, are you okay, Mick? She's like, yes. And I'm like, all right, but it just seemed like it was too long,
Yeah, they'll steal you. So anybody listening right now, whether it's on the podcast, on YouTube, on the RPT Studios channel, wherever you're listening, Spotify, Apple, whatever.
Are you live on YouTube?
I was trying to go live on Rockfin. So it's still recording audio and video. I still have the video that we can go put on YouTube.
Oh, got it.
So anybody watching and hearing what Mighty Soul just said, if you're one of those parents that believes like, honestly, guys, I just think you guys are being really transphobic, and these trans non-binary people are the ones that are more likely. That opinion, somebody told me that little statistic like a long time ago when we were going through the airport and that debate first started happening. It's like North Carolina intends to ban whatever, not being inclusive. Right?
Yeah.
And then you watch CNN because you're thinking that's the one that's more accurate. And then they're saying on there, well, studies show, the data shows that these gender fluid, non-binary people, or whatever, trans people are more likely to be a victim of some type of assault. by them going to the biological
so
part.
If a female is transitioning to a man, just
Female turning man,
right, and they want to be in male sports, I almost guarantee you they're not going to let them join.
Or they won't make the cut. They'll be like, you need to keep up, sister.
I wish that would happen. I wish
Too bad,
somebody,
so sad, brother.
Yeah, I wish that would happen so that we could finally prove a point.
She's my mom.
Now, if they went into the men's locker room and there's a bunch of schlongs hanging everywhere, going into the shower room, and she's got a vagina and tits still because she hasn't cut them off, what's that?
What do you mean, what's that?
So what's happening to her? Yeah. Or is she gonna have to make a special room for her because she still has tits, right? Because that'd be the one thing that guys would be staring at, right?
She still got a front booty.
Exactly. So what? So are they gonna make a little area just for her? Well, that's not fair, right? I mean, it's just so dumb. It's like if you just think about it in every which way, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all.
Here's the part.
Make a fucking a thing for transgenders to compete against each other. Then, if that's the case,
yeah,
make their own league.
This is where I'm at with it. I feel like most people kind of like agree with what you just said, and I'm already to the point like in the Matrix where I kind of zoom out and look at it like, okay, who's benefiting from this? Who's losing from this? What are all the agendas? Like, what's the purpose of telling these people that they're being genocided by the Republicans that are transphobic? Like, these people literally are denying your existence. Like, they won't accept that you're a thing. It's like, you know what I mean? And then someone gets on TikTok and gets radicalized even more, where they're like, God is trans and the wind is trans, everything's fluid, and tell your child to be like water, and you're making them cis, and cisness is the illness, and cisness and inclusion is trans, and this. And it's like, I zoom out and look at it like, okay, we've already seen a couple people get weaponized to the point where they went and attacked Christians. I know that's not what they're telling on the news, but that's what happened. They ran up in the, and it's very tragic. But you just got to zoom out and be like, okay, why all of a sudden and why so much? Like the corporations, you know what I'm saying? Like, how is this all connected with their, I forget the letters, like CEI. There's like some other letter thing where they're trying to keep their score up, like Bud Light, keep their score up so that I guess they have more access to capital. But there's certain little things you got to do.
Or like school, call it equity now. Or that thing I sent you.
Equity is like a stealth word for like socialism and communism, basically, because
but also it's part of the inclusive part, like how inclusive they are.
Diversity, equity, inclusion. Yeah, so the equity part is like a stealth. It's like a code word for like communism and Marxism. Don't get triggered because they're basically saying you're white, you have privilege. Everything here was set up for you. America is built up due to free labor from the slaves. And it's like, that's one way to look at it, unless you go back and look at economics stuff, right? So they use that proletariat bourgeoisie Marxist framework to basically bamboozle you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like equity need not equality opportunity, which is what America is. They're like, no, we need equity, which is, since you're white and you own 2 farms, one of those farms needs to be taken away from you and given to minorities, and trans. And it's like, whoa, what do you mean? It's like, they have a disadvantage. You took advantage. Y'all are bad. And how many people, did you see the clip of a white dude that was a man on the street? It might have been James Clue. And he goes up to these 2 black girls that are just chilling.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
And he's like, he's asking them questions. Obviously, it's edited. And he's like, is it okay to be white? They're like, no.
Y'all done killed too many
people. Y'all
done
did too much.
Yeah.
Y'all causing too many problems. Why? Because you got Ibram X. Kendi. You got the 1619 Project. You got the New York Times. You got all these woke Silicon Valley, all these woke corporations, your elites. They're basically pushing all this HR. We need a black trans woman to come in here and tell Coca-Cola how to tell your employees to be less white, because whiteness is the problem. Whiteness is the problem. It's like they turning us into like on some South Africa apartheid. Like, they're making it happen. Like, it's okay to run into Walgreens and steal because capitalism and slavery and police. It's like, you're getting bamboozled and you about to make stuff really bad for everybody, including yourself, your people, because it's going to chew you up and eat you out. It's already happened in countries before. There's a thing that's very interesting, Sol, and I'll just say this and I'll be quiet. The Mao Cultural Revolution in China is very interesting. That's when the CCP, I think, kind of was like the inception of it. So basically, during this Cultural Revolution, they had like almost like woke college students, but they were called the Red Guard. So what you see now of them harassing Riley and like TPUSA can't show up on a campus, Matt Walsh can't show up on a campus because they're ready to shout you out, break window, do whatever, act like little Antifa, right? Like Black Bloc Bolshevik Revolution. All that stuff is so fascinating. How basically when Mao was done with these people who were his foot soldiers, like struggle session. You're bad because you don't care about all of China, the communal China. You're bad. You're selfish. You want to have your own property. How dare you want to have your own property, your own business? So when they were done using the Red Guard, everybody had to fall in line or get X'd out of the situation. So they just use you. And that's what a lot of these little woke kids are.
Well, I don't know if you saw that one video of the man, I think it was in New York, walked into a Starbucks or some kind of coffee place, I think, with his MAGA hat. And the lady decided, there's a lady in there who's calling him out. Her point was to basically like finish him, right? Like, just like, look at this, he's racist, and this racist man coming in here with this MAGA hat. And she posted it on Facebook. And so basically, I've forgotten how he retaliated or whatever. It wasn't like in a bad way, but regardless, he was trying to get him fired from his job because he was wearing the MAGA hat, but instead she ended up getting fired by her company. And she was an accountant, I forget for years actually. But the way she treated this man, and the thing is, the man, she called him a Nazi. He had a yarmulke, or is that what it's called? Yeah. Underneath his MAGA hat. And so he was like, the fact that she called me a Nazi was very offensive. And she's like, because I am Jewish and blah, blah, blah. So it was crazy because he was like, do we not have free speech anymore in America to where I can't walk into somewhere with my MAGA hat? And it is like that. It is like that. And the media did an amazing job of doing that. You know what I'm saying? To where we're conditioned. Everybody's conditioned to think if you're wearing a red hat and if it says MAGA in any way or form, you're immediately a bigot. You're immediately a racist, a fascist, everything you can think of. You're all of the above.
You can't even wear something that says, like if I made a hat, I could even make it black. I could even make it a black dad hat like this one. And if it said like "Make Tamales Great Again," he'd be like, "Whoa, no, hey, we need to talk about this. Oh, it's funny. I'm known for parody." Yeah, people have been poisoned with narrative. Pobrecita la señora, in a way, she's a victim of the media, like you said, because obviously that woman doesn't really know what's really cracking lacking. She was just assigned an opinion. She was persuaded, conditioned, like you said, and poisoned with narrative.
One of the new ladies at the store sells a bracelet, and it says "Mama" or "Mama," and I was like, "Oh, that's cute." She goes, "Yeah." Where she said, "Make America Mad Again."
Yeah, what does that mean though?
I don't find out. That's what was weird.
Maybe it meant like let Trump win so that they could be mad.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe. But she said, I said, "Oh, this is a cute mom." She goes, "Yeah, make America mad again." I was like, what does that mean?
Hey, I'm getting my new song mix. I'm here to make the models great again. Ooh, make you suckers hate again. We are not the same. I'm like a alien. Hey, it's coming. It's coming. All right, y'all, we've been on here for about an hour. Yes, we've been on here for an hour. Sorry, I'm not a good producer. I wouldn't keep track of time.
Y'all, just so y'all know, this is how we have conversations.
Maybe we should break this up into 2 episodes. So they get something Thursday, they get something Friday, or they get something Wednesday and something Thursday.
Wow. That didn't seem like an hour, boo.
Yeah, and I know we got a lot of stuff.
Sure.
So All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys in Sacramento. Marisol will be there April 19th.
Say bye. Say hello. Not say bye. Stop by and say hello.
Correct. San Jose Improv. I'll see you guys 420. All my people in the RGP. I will see you with my boys, man. Mario Superstar Salazar and Raymond Horta. Super amazing show. Brownsville, April 21st. Alamo, April 22nd. I might even go first. I might even go in the middle, but I do not want to go last. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Holla back. Peace.
Bye.